This podcast is brought to you by PodSpot Events.
Hi everyone and welcome to Able Pod.
There's 4.4 million people in this country living with a disability. Don't tell me that today, for every 6 people you've seen someone with a disability. Where are they? I see 95% of our staff are under the age of 25, and a big thing that we tell them is your job is to just go out and have fun.
A day out with Whatability looks like an absolute blast. It really does.
And that's our tagline, happiness comes first. Who doesn't want to be happy, or who doesn't want to see someone living with a disability happy? We employ NRL, AFL, netball, Olympians, Paralympians.
Mate, you've got the who's who of athletes in Australia. It's quite phenomenal.
The likes of like Angus Bell and Tom Trbojevic and Sean Kepi and those guys that don't need the money, they will donate their salary to our foundation art. I didn't know that there were people that couldn't speak. I didn't know that there were people that couldn't go to the toilet. And that's all we're trying to do, is they can go and do everything that we can do. They just need to be given an opportunity. We've had kids run out the MCG. We've had kids go out with the Matildas and the Lionesses in the World Cup final. We had 9 kids go out in the F1 Grand Prix.
Well, welcome guys, and I've got someone really special with me today. I can't wait to introduce you. This is Able Pod, the podcast channel on behalf of Able Plus. We do disability networking events all around Australia. We've got about 70 coming up this year, so there's every chance we're coming to a community near you. So the guy I'm about to introduce, he's sitting opposite me. He's someone I've wanted to get on the channel for quite some time. Steve Dresler of Whatability. How are you, mate?
Mate, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for making the time to come and have a chat today. You know, I'm a big fan of your business. You seem to cut through in the space, unlike any other brand. You seem to have more fun and probably, in my opinion, do a lot more in terms of accessibility, inclusion than a lot of brands. You walk the talk. How have you done it?
I suppose just the simplicity of what we do. We've always stuck to what we do best and not diversified what we do. We're a disability support service that specialises in community access and camps, and we stuck to that. I think that too many providers get in trouble where they do too much in home care, transport, therapy, community access, where from day one we've just decided what we do best and just going to continue doing that.
But that directive comes from the top, and this is something we see all across Australia. Everyone wants to clip the ticket in so many different streams, right? You've stuck to one. Why? Why just have that directive? Where did it all come from?
Mate, I don't know. I think that this company has just grown and blown up, and we've got so many good people involved in it now, but it started as a bit of a fun thing to do on weekends. I started at a school called Giant Steps, and I was at the Eels for 5 years, and the NRL had a rule you have to earn or learn to be able to play. So I got a job as a teacher's aide at this school, and the school didn't do work on weekends, so I got a job on an online platform. And one of the kids' parents I work with, Paige, that I'm very open about, she's like my little sister. She's got level 3 ASD. She's severely disabled. She can't read, she can't write, she can't talk, she can't use a knife and a fork sometimes, she can't go to the toilet independently, but she can go on a jet ski, she can go on a go-kart, she can swim for hours, she can jump at flip out, and she can enjoy those little things in life that bring us joy. And the mum, Michelle, just said, can you take our daughter out on a weekend? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And she's like, yeah, you'll get paid. And I was like, wow, really? So then she actually helped me set up the ABN and go through all that phase. So I set up a little ABN for a few boys at the time, and they're all now playing first grade consistently, which is great. And that's where the idea of athletes working in the space come into it through my past. And we just decided that giving kids and adults disabilities opportunities that we got as kids, whether it was Time Zone, beaches, Flip Out, SeaWorld, Movie World, cafes, movies, everything like that. And I say 95% of our staff are under the age of 25, and a big thing that we tell them is your job's there to have fun. You're not there to make people living with a disability or these participants read, write, do something that they don't want to do. Your job is to just go out and have fun. We don't take participants to therapy supports. We don't take them and do in-home care. We just focus on that community access element. And we've done that since day one. And we can't staff it all now. Like, we can't go into other markets now. We don't have enough staff. We don't have enough. And you know what the space is like. It's so hard to find staff and grow at that rate.
And it's congested. And I think the fact that you've stayed in your lane and you own it, the fact that you've been able to find people that have the same culture as you, the fact that your average staff member is under 25 is conveyed through that fun brand. I've seen
maybe
karaoke.
gone up a bit.
A day out with Whatability looks like an absolute blast. It really does. Like,
well, that's what it was supposed to be, right? Like, take it back to when I went to Giant Steps. I was 18 at the time, and I'd never really seen a disability before. I grew up in a country town called Yamba.
Yeah.
And never really engaged or even saw someone with a disability. And I went to this school, and because of our size and strength, they chucked us footy boys in the complex unit with those complex participants that couldn't read, couldn't write, couldn't talk, maybe had challenges and behaviours and stuff.
Hang on, mate. Where are we? We're in school in Yamba.
No. So I graduated, finished school, moved to Queensland to finish my schooling, and then moved to the Parramatta Eels and was at the Parramatta Eels for 5 years.
Yes.
And in that time, I had to get a job because I was not paid enough as a semi-professional athlete. So I got a job as a teacher's aide at Giant Steps and got put in the complex units with the kids there, working as a teacher's aide. And the first couple of weeks, hated it. Like, I didn't know that there were people that couldn't speak. I didn't know that there were people that couldn't go to the toilet. I didn't know that there were people that, like, couldn't do the things that we could do.
Yeah.
And I was just taken back, and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then fast forward a couple of months or a few weeks, I fell in love with it. I just saw the simple things of what we did at the school just gave these kids hope and gave them something to do every single day. And it was just so simple but so effective. And then just started taking them out on weekends and, like, just letting them live life and get a sense of what we got. Like, I got to go to a sporting event when I was a kid. I got to go to the beach. I got to go to a cafe. I got to go on my dad's boat. I got to go and do all these things as a kid. And that's all we're trying to do, is we're trying to give people living with disability opportunities that we got as kids, because they can do everything. They can go to the beach. They can go on a jet ski. We've got 4 or 5 jet skis around the country now. They can go and do everything that we can do. They just need to be given an opportunity.
I love it. So let's go back. You're in this classroom. You go home from day one. You're not enjoying it. You haven't seen people like this before. You came from a regional setting, and this was all very, very different. And you have to undergo a period of change, and it takes time. So what happens behind the scenes? How do you go from finding it confrontational to wanting to spend more time with these people and take them and show them the things that you've enjoyed through your childhood? What happens?
I've been asked this a couple of times, and I don't know exactly. I think that I went home and Dino and Jody were our house parents. I lived in a footy house when there was house parents and then 3 other boys in there.
Yeah, is this common, by the way?
So footy, most clubs have footy houses where if you're anywhere between 15 to 18, when they move you to a new suburb or a new city, you'll get moved into a footy house. So we had parents, and then Reed Marnie, Dylan Brown, and Austin Diaz and Joey Talpari. But Austin Diaz, Reed Marnie, and Dylan Brown are all playing first grade now, which is incredible.
Awesome.
So we all lived together and went to the school, and I remember Dino got home, and I was like to Dean, like, I can't do it. And Dean was like, mate, give it 2 weeks. Just give it 2 weeks. And gave it 2 weeks, and it changed my life. Like, just, like I said, seeing the simple things and the school is incredible. They've got young kids that learn all different stuff. Like, they can speak different languages. They can go to mainstream schools. They can do all that stuff. And then they've got that complex unit where we were. And after the first, like, you just saw the simple things, like, that just brought Paige joy, or just brought Clancy or James or these other kids that were in that area. The simplest things, like just going to the playground, or successfully, like, showering, or successfully eating and using a knife and a fork, or successfully putting their schedule. So we would plan the schedules every single day. We'd make all the we'd have Velcro strips where it'd be number one activity, which was that, and then second activity, then lunch, then third activity, fourth lunch, and then so on. So those simple things that, it's just so simple we take for granted. I think that's what it was.
So there was therapy. There was a sense of gratitude.
Yeah.
There was a humbleness to it. So much so that you then banded a group together and started to do this on a more regular basis.
Yeah.
And you're reaching out. You're doing fun things on the weekend.
Yeah. So
All of a sudden, you've got a business.
Yeah. Well, they're a school, so they have to stick by the educational curriculum. So they get half their funding from the government.
Yeah.
So they have to do English, maths, science, history, to an extent, and teach these people, like people living with disability. And Paige, for instance, like she can't speak, but they have to get their funding, support her and do English and matching words and things like that. And that's incredible, and it has helped those kids and some of the families and stuff there. But for instance, I would take Paige out on the weekend and she would just live her life. Like I would take her on the jet ski, or we'd go to Luna Park, or we'd go to Time Zone and just smile and just have fun. And that's where I was like, why are we not just letting her or people like this just live their life? Like I'm all for education and employment and therapy and everything like that. But the unfortunate and the harsh reality for some people living with a disability is they will never be able to do that. And I say that lightly, but Paige and Clancy and their parents have accepted that. And they know that Paige will never be able to live independently. Paige will never be able to get a job. She'll never be able to contribute to society in that way. But how she can contribute is just have fun and see her beautiful smile out there just living her life. And if that means going swimming or going to the beach or going to the Time Zone, and that's success. Like that's success for Paige, and that's success for some people living with disabilities, just to be able to access their community every single day. And that's what the NDIS was built upon, right?
Yeah.
The NDIS was built to get people living with disability into the community.
It was, yeah.
And it looks different for everyone. Like success for Paige is that. And then success for someone else might be working 5 days a week and going out on a Saturday, or working and going out once a month and going to access their community. But for someone like Paige, that's the harsh reality.
Yeah. And I think it's good that we discuss that and talk about the reality. I mean, some of the things I know is I've spoken to parents that say that smile that's on their face when you and your team drop them off, that lasts for the rest of the day, maybe the following day. Yeah. That has been the highlight of their week. You've got people looking forward to their community access day for a week, because it's a very short period of time. Yeah. And they're buzzing when they come back, right? Yeah. Like it's quite phenomenal what you're able to do.
Yeah.
What I'm intrigued by is how have you been able to then do it en masse? How have you opened the doors? I know you've got, to a certain extent, corporate Australia in the palm of your hand at the moment. You've got a lot of big brands investing in you. You're doing some amazing things. You've got athletes signing up, and they're signing up because they want to be part of something, not because their managers told them they need to be part of something. Yeah. Tell us about all this.
Again, it comes back to the simplicity of what we do. Like Jared and Lucy, behind the scenes, it is a business and it is hard to run, and we have employees, we have everything else that everyone else goes through. But the core essence of what we do, regardless of if you're a parent, a support worker, a participant, an athlete, your job is to have fun. And if you've put a smile on that person's face, you've done your job. And that's our tagline: happiness comes first. If Paige isn't happy, we're doing something wrong. If that participant's not happy, we're doing something wrong. And it all...
You're selling a brand of happiness.
Exactly. Like, who doesn't want to be happy, or who doesn't want to see someone living with a disability happy? And that's like where we started earlier on. But the athlete piece was where I worked, and I was at the school, and there was a few of the athletes there, and they started working on the weekend with me, and I just basically started a little ABN. And Paige and James and Clancy were the first 3 participants that I ever worked with, and they are 3 very, very complex participants, nonverbal, challenging behaviours. Yeah. And these young athletes that I was mates with, they just loved it. They loved just taking them out and just having fun and getting to know them and understand them. And like they work better with that type of like the athlete, the younger, energetic, funner. Like there's a role for that type of worker that's older, that's maybe female, and the disability space is very female driven and older driven.
Yeah.
And we just brought this youth and this energy into it, and their primary focus is just have fun. You're not a teacher, you're not a doctor, you're not a therapist. Like, go out and have the best day of Paige. Go out and have the best day of James. Go out and have the best day with Clancy. And that's essentially where we started. And we've now pivoted because we've got over 600 employees.
Which is remarkable, mate. Congratulations.
It's crazy.
That's a business really making an impact at scale. That's phenomenal.
Well, we've just ticked over about 750 participants across the country. So
incredible. There's a lot of happiness in that.
Yeah. And the athletes, like, I believe, and our philosophy is they're the perfect sport worker. And now 50% are athletes, 50% are non-athletes, but they're still young, fit, energetic, fun, and get to just go out and have fun. And we started working on the weekends and taking people out. And these the athletes, like, because it's all paid under the NDIS, so everyone from, again, some of the bigger players and athletes that we've got on now, Tom Travojevic, Angus Bell, Matty Proud, and around the country we've got multiple athletes, but they've done the exact same sign-up that you or I would do. They've done the exact same sign-up as a rookie or as academy or as a junior athlete. So Tom Travojevic has sat in and done his first aid.
Yeah.
He's done his NDIS workers check.
They don't get any shortcuts. You make them go through the process.
And
if they want to be part of it, they go through they jump through the hoops.
And they go through it. And we've done it from the start that everyone signs up. So Tom Travojevic is a paid employee. Angus Bell is a paid employee.
Oh, these guys are on your books?
They're all employees. And let me get to that in a second. So they're all paid employees. And then all the rookies academies, like, some of them would work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shifts a week. So some of them are on 10, 20, 30, 40 grand a year with us. So that's why the sporting teams and the governing bodies love what we do. And the likes of, like, Angus Bell and Tom Travojevic and Sean Kepi and those guys that don't need the money, they will donate their salary to our foundation arm.
Amazing.
So they double it. Like, they'll work and they'll get that kick from impacting the community, and then they'll donate their $150, $200, $250 to Whatability Foundation. So
amazing. So you have a foundation as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were 2.5 years old, and it was at the time me, my sister, and Lucy. And Lucy was our first ever full-time employee. Lucy's incredible. And we were actually out working outside of my Bondi apartment. There was about 6 employees in my Bondi apartment. And me and Ashley would work on weekends, and Lucy basically held down the fort Monday to Friday. And me and Ash worked in there, and Ashley did a lot of everything. And Lucy and Ash just held it down. And every weekend I would go to Luna Park, go-karting, time zone, move,
You're out there.
whatever
You're the
it
man
was.
in the community. You're
And
doing
just
it.
like having fun. But I would put it all on our company credit card.
Yeah.
Every cent of it, like all of it. And Lucy eventually said, Steve, like, enough, like, stop paying, like, you're spending all the money, you can't keep doing this. And I was like, why? Like, there's so many people, like, and because the NDIS will fund the support worker, the allied health, the medical, they won't fund a ticket to Luna Park or a ticket to SeaWorld or Movie World or a sporting event. I was like, surely, like, people in corporate Australia will just give tickets to people with a disability. It's cheap, it's free, like, you can put a smile on someone's face. And
this is good. This is a new thought.
So I was like, me and Liz were just like, let's just set up a charity. So we set up Whatability Foundation, got the DGR, got everything done. And now we get sporting, like, tickets to sporting events, movies, aquariums, zoos, and we basically put them in the foundation, and then we just give them out to families with disabilities that either can't afford it or need a day out or things like that. So that was the primary goal of the foundation, is just to unlock a million experiences and things that are cheap and relatively, like, easy, like the $0 to $100, like zoos, aquariums, time zone, sporting events. Most sporting events aren't sold out. Like, we could give some to them, and Sydney Zoo is incredible. They gave us $25,000 worth of tickets.
My God.
And we currently give them all out manually. So we are in the process of building an app and getting someone to help support and sponsor that, to build an app where the tickets will go in, and then someone, once they've registered, they can access tickets. Because right now we get hundreds of emails a day to the foundation saying, hey, can we get 3 tickets to here?
Sure.
6 tickets to here. And
you
it's
want to automate
manual.
that.
So that will get done this year at some point. That's
Yeah.
the goal. We're in contact and talks with someone at the moment to build that, which will be huge. So yeah.
Mate, not everyone thinks the NDIS is covering this component.
Yeah.
I'm currently covering this, but this needs to happen because people are having fun and this feels right. Let's go out and see if people want to donate to a foundation. Put the two pieces of the puzzle together and you've got a pretty special business, right? Yeah. And by the way, this is inundated with people wanting to do good in the community. $25,000 worth of zoo visits. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you've got a parent that's desperate for a day out with their kid that may be low socioeconomic and can't afford it. Yeah. And they can take their support worker with them. Yeah. This is a good day. Yeah. It's a good thing. It's a very critical piece of thinking whereby someone pulled you up on your expenditure and said, how else can we do this?
Yeah, and that's like more than 50% of the experiences are given to outside the business. Like the business and the foundation are separate businesses. The foundation has one employee in it, and then everyone in the PTY and the Whatability side donate their time across. Yeah. So Jared, me, Lucy, Nick, everyone that works across there, our time just gets donated across. We don't take a salary or any payments out of the foundation. Mm-hmm. And then we just buy tickets and just literally give them out, which is pretty cool. So,
it's amazing. So let's go back. We've got athletes choosing to spend their time with people with disability, forming key relationships. And I saw a high five with Levi after the Manly game. Yeah. This was heartfelt. That only comes through time, spending time with these kids, right? I feel this didn't happen 10 years ago. Yeah. I feel that it's happening more and more. Yeah. Why is it happening? Most people think our culture is becoming regressive. I feel that these athletes are now wanting to give more. What's going on?
I think that we're just trying to put it in the face of people. And we've had athletes that sign up and it's not for them. Like we've had people that sign up and do one shift and that's it. And that's completely fine. Like I've caught up with Nico Hines and Ronaldo Montano, and like Ronaldo's massive into homelessness and Nico's massive into mental health. So I'm like, boys, go and do that. Like whatever you're focused on and want to be a part of, like go and try and use your status to try and do something with that.
Yeah. So you love leveraging that.
Yeah. And trying to help them and push them towards things that they want to do. Like you don't always have to be with what we do. And we've just been lucky with the athletes that want to come on board. Like, yes, it is paid. So if you're a junior, like it's great pay and it's like helps you on your career. Like we employ NRL, AFL, netball, Olympians, Paralympians. We employ Ben Tutto. That's one of the most successful Paralympians of all time. He's an incredible guy.
Mate, you've got the who's who of athletes in Australia. It's quite phenomenal.
Yeah, and they're cool. Like they want to hang out. Like we've got some kids and people that like know who they are. Like Levi knows who Tom and Jake Trbojevic are, and the whole Manly side. Yeah. And then we've got participants that like Paige and James and Clancy that have no idea, that don't understand that that's Tom Trbojevic or Angus Bell, and don't understand
there's
that.
Kind of a beauty in
they
that
love
as well,
their
right?
energy, their passion, their vibe, their experience, like their ability to run, jump, swim, and engage and have fun. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do. And we're trying to make it cool. Like disability has been so hidden and a casual or not a good job. And we're trying to flip that and make it cool. If Tom Trbojevic can do it, or if Angus Bell can do it, or if Matty Proud can do it, like it makes it cool for both those kids coming through to accept disability, and also the older generation that haven't accepted it yet.
I think you are making it cool.
We're trying. We've got a long way to go.
And I think you're retrofitting the elderly as well, looking back and seeing.
Well, that's like again, like what I told you before with Levi at the Manly game. Like this little boy that is maybe 10 or 12 years old was staring at Levi, and Levi had become uncomfortable.
But hang on, mate, this was you coming out of Yamba, right? You hadn't seen disability before. Yeah. Let's put it in context. Like people haven't come across it.
People haven't seen it. Yeah. And we're just trying to break it down and put in, and you've got to see it to understand it. So that's why like 1 in 6 people living with a disability, there's 4.4 million people in this country living with a disability. Don't tell me that like today, for every 6 people you've seen someone with a disability. Like, where are they? They're hidden. They're in housing. They're in institutions. They're in hospitals. They're put away. So how can we do our part to try and bring people living with a disability into the community? And whether that's employment, whether that's community access, whether that's school, whether that's supported employment, like whatever that is, like it's doing its job and it's trying to get people into the community.
I think you're doing it incredibly well. I can't think of anyone that's doing it better. And Now you find yourself in the space where you're a leader. You've told me some of the engagements that you've got coming up. There's some big media gigs coming up for you. People are wanting to reach out to you. You are the face of disability inclusion. You are on TV, you are on radio, you do podcasts all around Australia. How does that feel for a guy that started out wanting to take Paige out for a day on a jet ski? Could you have ever imagined that you now have 600 to 700 employees around Australia, the best of Australia's elite sports stars wanting to become support workers? What if I told you this 3-4 years ago? Would you believe me?
No, I don't think anyone in this position thinks that they're going to get there. And like, we've got a long way to go. Like, I've got like an incredible team that like do everything. Like, I've taken a big step back this year and trying to let go of as much as I can. I'm very lucky that like I found someone in my life, Jared, that is our CEO. He is, behind Lucy, the second best person I've ever met, and he's changed our life. He's changed my life, my sister's life, Whatability's trajectory, and is the biggest part of this organisation. So we were doing 10 bookings 2.5 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer, 10 bookings a day. And like, it was all through my phone. It was like, hey,
2.5 years ago, you're doing 10 bookings.
Maybe 3 years ago. And it was like, hey, Ian, you've got a booking tomorrow with Paige in Bellevue Hill.
Yeah.
Michelle, Ian's coming tomorrow at 9 a.m. Like, it was all through my phone and my head. And like, Lucy ran everything in the background, and me and Ashley, my sister, ran everything through our phones. And I rang a mentor at the time and said, like, mate, like, I can't do this. It's too much. I can't do it. He said, mate, go and catch this guy for a coffee. Like, he's, he can help you do some stuff and help you sort some tech stuff out and like help automate a bit of stuff. So we kind of take the piss out of Jared and call him the tech guy. But so I got introduced to him. He come in for a coffee, and he's about 7 foot tall. So he's a very tall guy, but he come in, introduced me himself, and like just said, mate, I'd love to help. I'd love to help a couple of days a week and just give back. And at the time, well, just before that, he was the national sales manager for Menulog, and he was set from there. And then he went on and become the CEO of a company called Dimmy. And then he was set from there. So he was semi-retired at the time. He was studying psychology, and he was just living, his life. And he was like, mate, I want to help out a couple of days a week. So he come on board, help me and Lucy and Jake and Ashley just like do a lot of stuff. And fast forward, like I said, mate, do you want to come on full time? Like a year. And I was like, he's like, mate, I'd be honoured to. I love it. Like, he wants to be a part of it. So
you attract talent because of your brand culture.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool, fun brand, and this is like why Jared's a part of it. Like, he was a part of Menulog and that whole online ordering and everything like that. So that whole change of the ordering of food, and he's like now wants to be a part of this and wants to change the disability space and what we do and how disability is perceived. So we're now doing 250 bookings a day. So he has just like changed everything, and we're better than we ever were. Like our metrics, our data, our insights, everything that we track, parent phone calls, participant comms, participant photos, every data point that we track across the country is better than we ever have been ever. So we're doing more and better than we ever were, which is great. And we just want to keep going and impact as many families as we can and give as many people opportunities that we got as we can.
I think you've got so much momentum at the moment, and you've got obviously very talented, gifted people wanting to be part of your business. You've got corporate Australia wanting to contribute to your business. You've got fun places, zoos, aquariums, whatever, wanting to be part of it. It's got a beautiful, good feel. So people are feeling good around it. We've got participants enjoying it. I know we've got parents loving a day out with Whatability. It's quite phenomenal, mate. You should be so proud.
Yeah. And that's why, like, obviously everyone wants to see people in the disability happy. And that's where if like corporate Australia, Harvey Norman, Tyre Power, Shaw and Partners, Amy and Optus are incredible and help in any way, shape or form and continue to go above and beyond and give back and just want to help. Like, they continually offer things and try and help and push our message. Our vision is to create an inclusive world, and we can't do that alone. And that's a big part of why we use sport, corporate Australia, people to just help do that, because we can't do it. Like it's very hard to do. So the more people, organizations and places we can get on board to help do that, the easier it's going to be.
You can't do it without their help, but you can be the nucleus, you can be the catalyst for the movement, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's for something that happened from such a pure undertaking, wanting to take a girl out on a jet ski, right? Yeah. And to think of this, it's quite phenomenal.
Yeah.
What does the future look like? How big do you want to go? Have you thought about going beyond Australia? If you want to, your tagline was something about the world. What are you going to do, Steve? Come on, the doors are open, mate.
Yeah.
Keep opening them.
Yeah, it is exciting where we're going and what we're going to do. Like, we want to go global. Like that. Okay. That is a goal for us. Like, we want to launch Australia, New Zealand, the UK, like wherever we can, and impact as many people as we can.
Yeah.
It'll take time. We just want to keep doing what we're doing. Like, there's so many people that are out there that just want to have fun. And yeah, we just want to keep doing what we're doing and giving kids and people living with a disability opportunities that we got, as many as we can. But we're not there. Like, the NDIS is currently 660,000 people, and we support just over 600, 700. So we're not even 0.1% of the NDIS. And in Australia, there's 4.4 million people living with a disability. There's 1.9 profound or severe. So that means the NDIS has to cater to those profound or severe people, which is going to triple it. So it should get to about 1.8 million people is what it should get to.
You might only be interacting with a very small component, but what you're doing through social media, through running kids onto footy fields, through sports interaction, through making disability inclusion cool, it's far, far greater than the number of participants you have. You're enjoying a leveraging factor of social media, which is by a factor of hundreds.
Yeah, and that's like a huge part of the sporting side is getting kids and people with a disability to stadiums and guard of honours and coin tosses and run outs and putting disability in the face of the community. We had last year, Bianca went out with Maddie Proud, the captain of the Swifts, and Ali and Maddie Turner are great there, and Soph. And Maddie Proud's the captain of the Swifts, played for Australia, and she works with this young girl called Bianca, and she's got cerebral palsy, and she takes her out, goes to the movies, gets her nails done, and just has the best day. And we got Bianca to come do the ball toss and give the ball to the captains in the middle of the centre court.
I think I saw this on socials.
And there was 10,000 fans at the game. And obviously at a netball game, it's mums and daughters or dads and daughters, and 5,000 of them were kids, let's say, just 5,000. And Maddie and Ali say that if one girl in that crowd that's that young, like, says, I want to be a supporter like a Maddie Proud or Ali, and we've done our job. Like, if we can do that and put it in the face of kids and parents, and we've had kids run out the MCG. We've had kids go out with the Matildas and the Lionesses in the World Cup final. We had two kids, Henry that I was talking about before, went out and did the national anthems for the World Cup final.
We're just trying to still name these kids' names. Love it.
Yeah, we had 9 kids go out in the F1 Grand Prix.
Yeah.
We've got a 2-year partnership with the Australian Grand Prix, which is incredible. And that's,
You're trying to pull back. Corporate Australia will want Steve Dresler in the boardroom to sign up the deal, take the photo, be part of it. How's it going to work?
No, I think I'm pulling back from thinking I know everything. I think that I'm pulling back from letting people do what they want to do and can do, in terms of, like, I don't need to be across everything. Like, and I've made a big change this year of trying to understand and be across everything. I'm only 26. Like, I don't know a lot about finance.
Incredibly
I don't know a lot about operations. I don't know a lot about marketing. I'm trying to understand as much as I can, but leaving that to Jared, Nick, Josh, Luce, and the team to just run their departments. And I'll be there. I want to do what I want to do. I want to enjoy what I started this business for. I want to enjoy that and be there and do those runouts and do those stuff for the partners and things like that. But obviously, like, I'm so inexperienced. So trying to just soak it in and understand as much as I can. And there might come a time where I understand and do a lot more in that space. But for the moment, just like enjoying where we're at and enjoying the space that we're in.
Oh, mate, I think you just come with so much credibility. And if there are any pockets of knowledge that you don't know, you're going to have people telling you have one role to play in this, and that is the face of the business. And to put these big deals together to help these little kids that go home with a smile on their face and mum and dad think they had the best day ever and they get to do it again next week. It's phenomenal. And then multiply that by all of those interactions where you've got a kid on a footy field or a netball court and there's thousands of people watching and you're changing the culture, and it's quite phenomenal. You do not need to know the P&L. Like, seriously, somebody can tell you that. It's incredible, mate. At 26.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And the position that we're in and the impact that we're having on families and people and the community, it's pretty cool.
Mate, I've loved talking to you. Thank you for telling us about your journey. Thank you for opening your heart up and telling us about your early days, how you set it all up. You're incredibly humble. I can't believe you're 26 years old. You've got a great future. I believe you can go beyond Australia. I believe if you want to make an impact on the world, you can do it. Phenomenal chat.
Thanks, mate. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Guys, that was Steve Dresler, the guy who started What Ability. What a talent. What an incredible guy. What a great podcast. On behalf of myself and the Able Plus team, that's been Able Pod, Steve Dresler. Thanks again, mate.
Thanks, mate.